So what do you do when you want to sketch? You want a painting subject, maybe a landscape or whatever it may be. It's quite irrelevant, but when the weather doesn't permit you to go out and do a plein air sketch, maybe a bit of artist block, you're just not sure. Maybe it's difficult to paint when you're in these artist block situations. And this can be quite exciting because you just get on with it and just allow the watercolor to appear and do its thing. I know exactly what it's like to have this artist block. It's a real thing, and sometimes I just have no clue what to paint. So this one, I want to take you on this spontaneous painting. Just paint for the fun of it and see what develops. And it's like giving the watercolor, it dictates the end product. So I'm not messing around too much, and I'm only using a few colors just for the sky. I'm using a little bit of the cobalt blue and then sepia and a bit of yellow ochre. And just to help me get a little bit more movement in the sky, I'll tilt the board like I often like to do. And then just within this green, I'm just touching in a tiny bit of that sepia and then neutral black. You may notice I'm using the Hake brush. I've not used this brush for a while because this is the first larger painting that I've done. Usually I do like to do my sketchbook sketches, and but I had one of these sheets left and it's quite a large sheet, so I did cut it quite crudely with a small pair of beard scissors. So I did get not quite a good result on the cutting of the paper. But just using a little card now to scrape out some rocks, some highlights on rocks. When I started this painting, I wanted a bit of a mountain scene, but I'm just going ahead and just seeing what develops. And now I've got these little highlights and shapes. I'm just picking out just a few details, going in with more of that mix of sepia and neutral black to give me the darker tones. So if you are new here, then please do consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I do more paintings like this. I try and get 2 to 3 videos a week, just as and when I can. But I'd love to know your thoughts if you would like longer form content. This one is quite short. I just want to get straight to the point, and hopefully if you could watch all the way through. I'm trying to build up on my watch time, so I just want to keep this one quite brief, and I do appreciate you sticking around and watching the very end. So it's just a loose painting. You can see just a few things happening on the paper now, things that are quite spontaneous, and maybe you could call them happy accidents. I've got a little bit of something interesting happening in the middle, and this is where the paper I've stored got a little bit bent, and so the pigments just sort of skipped to sort of little areas. And I don't know, what do you think? Maybe there could be a bit of water crashing on some rocks. I'm not quite sure. So this painting is turning out a little bit sort of semi-abstract, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind doing these scenes, and I just want to get a little bit of salt to give me a little bit of texture on this side of the paper. I did use some coarse sort of table rock salt and that just sort of bounced off my paper and ran down, so I used the finer everyday regular salt, and then just adding a little bit of maybe along the horizon line, maybe sea or some sort of water. So I think that's the way this painting's going. Like I said, I had no idea, so it's just letting the brush strokes and just being loose and free and painting, just adding these interesting marks and seeing what happens. Have you ever tried painting in this way? I think it's just good to get rid of that artist block if you do find yourself uninspired, or the weather just doesn't allow you to go out and paint, or if that's your thing, then maybe just get the paints out and paint anyway and just see what happens, and just go with it. It is quite freeing, it's quite liberating, and you never know what sort of can happen on the paper. So yeah, there's a few things that I can see in this painting. It's quite nice, it's free, loose, and hopefully it gives you some ideas as to what to paint. And then I'm just removing the tape, and this is always exciting. You can see the paper, the way I've cut the paper. It's not very well, but it just gives me a nice time to just do a quick painting for you. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Any comments, please leave them in the comment section. And also, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help a small channel like mine to reach more people. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.